The last time it happened, which was 2021, before that it happened 2018, same questions come up. Why does Kerala flood like this? Of course, there are reasons such as, unseasonal rains. Climate change is a very, very big challenger. We have brazen urban building, but for God's sake, you can't possibly peddle the same reasons year after year, because no one is going to answer for those who've lost their lives and also livelihood. Dr. DS Pai, senior scientist with the Indian Meteorological Department, that is IMD, is now joining us, and we shall talk to him. Dr. Pai, a very, very warm welcome to you. Dr. Pai, please, just try and answer this for all of us, all of us South Indians, as it were, and I'm going to include you also in this, Dr. Pai. Is that,
Yeah.
why is it that year after year, I thought the South Indian states were far more efficient. I'm sticking my neck out. In Kerala, every year it is the same reason. Dr. Pai, those helpless people and children and elderly who are, who have died, who've gone missing, who's going to answer? What is the reason you think, Dr. Pai?
See, if we see the rainfall records, in fact, last several years, or almost last 2 or 3 decades, there is a decreasing trend of seasonal rainfall over the Kerala. In spite of that, total rainfall is decreasing, but the extreme rainfall events are increasing. That means whenever rainfall occurs, it occurs in a very short period, and there is a gap. And again, so when rainfall occurs in a very short period, lot of water is generated, everywhere. That is one thing. And in addition to that, the flooding is mainly caused by the land cover changes that has occurred in the last 2 or 3 decades. Generally, as per the geography of the Kerala, the maximum rainfall occurs in the Western Ghats, and then water, because of a slopy pattern, water flows from the east hilly region to westward in the coastal very quickly. But you also understand that there are almost 81 dams in Kerala, and they are all part of development, definitely, but they are also, along with other structure, hindering the natural flow of rivers and water. And we know these dams can control flooding by regulating the flow
of water. So, Dr. Pai, let me stop you here so that people understand this also.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's because of unplanned buildings, no thinking, because Kerala, always had enough rains, it had natural resources, it's called God's own country. Do you think in our planning we have defaulted majorly, Dr. Pai? Is it because we have mismanaged it? We, as in you and me and people all over, has been mismanagement in Kerala or not, Doctor?
See, I will be talking about the scientific reason. I will not go what is the administrative and what are the other changes. You know that the population density of the Kerala is almost more than double of the national. Now, naturally, when you have got a large, almost 3.5 crore, people, you need housing for them.
Yes.
For agriculture has to be developed. So these people has been distributed almost every part of the Kerala, and every district is like urban type. There is no village. You can say that almost entire regions are urban. Now, in this process, what happened is that earlier we used to have a concept of one well in every house. Okay, now because people are more increased, when we got independence, I think the population was only around 1 crore or 1.5.
Right.
Now it has increased more than double or that.
So what has
Now,
increased population? You say they need more homes. Now,
yeah,
what
more
is...
homes. You need a more agriculture, for feeding them. You
Yeah,
need
you
has to
do.
give them
You
more
do.
jobs.
Yeah,
There are a lot
yeah,
of development, roads
sure.
are being constructed. So as a result, what happened whenever rainfall occurs, that has to infiltrate quickly into the surface. That is not happening. It takes a lot of time. Natural drainage has been vanished. And as I said, these wells are a very good mechanism by which whatever,
But they are
water
disappearing.
flows.
But they are
Yeah.
disappearing. They are pretty much disappeared in Tamil Nadu. They disappeared in Mumbai. They have disappeared everywhere. I mean, there is building there on wetland. The kind of buildings that have come up across India in Bengaluru. You see how Bengaluru is also flooded every time. I mean, it is horrible. There are pothole deaths. But the point is, just explain one thing to me. If there has been, like you're a scientist, right? If there has been a climate change and that impact is being felt in Kerala, why is it that we cannot plan right now so that 10 years later, this conversation is not repeated?
See, again, I am saying this hazard, when we call a natural hazards, that is always there. But the problem is with the human activities. Again, the climate change itself, I don't need to explain. It's because of human activity. But the hazard or the risk are also increased by interference by the human. As already I said, wells are vanishing. You have got unplanned buildings. So therefore, what happened is that the water flow earlier, it had some tributaries or natural drainage. Because of this type of construction, they have lost their natural path. And when extreme rainfall occurs, they try to find out earlier ways. So already you have got houses, you have got other structure.
So, sir, that
naturally
is
they are going
fine.
to be
Dr.
affected.
Pai, that's all okay. You are saying there is brazen kind of, building activity. I am asking you a larger question, that if climate change has been felt across the world, it's not just judging Kerala here. But if
Yeah.
it is felt, why is it that experts and the government of the day and others also sit across the table and not plan? Do we want this situation year after year? I mean, people in Wayanad, in Kannur, in Kozhikode, they are all today struggling. In Kochi, I have heard stories about seawater coming into people's homes. Everything has been destroyed. Who is going to pay them? Building a home takes years, sir. A house you can build in a year. A home takes years to build.
See, I totally agree with your feelings. See, what IMD does is that we give a forecast and advisories and warning. So the further is not, I think that I cannot talk on that. The
Right.
further,
So,
depending on the local, requirement, local geography, local population, local, all that infrastructure.
but you've been
The
very
action is
kind.
taken.
But Dr.
Action
Pai,
is
you've
taken.
been very kind because you have said there is indiscriminate building activity which goes on in Kerala, and that is one of the reasons why we see this year after year. All I'm saying is, when you speak about monitoring systems also, I know that India's monitoring system is now excellent. We saw Biparjoy. We saw, how there are enough advanced monitoring systems, etc., etc. But isn't that right, Dr. Pai, that you can only do, as in give warnings only till certain extent? People say, why were we not told? Of course you were told, but don't you explain that for the viewers, that the warnings cannot be accurate to such an extent that people expect you to be?
Yeah, definitely. See, like any forecast, tell me if any kind of forecast which is 100% accurate, nothing can be 100% accurate. So there can be always some difference. But at the same time, I can assure you that the forecasting capability infrastructure has improved a lot. And even this time also, the prediction from IMD was almost accurate. So we have been predicted almost 3-4 days before. And the rainfall, we had highest amount of rainfall that we predicted on 4th, that happened. And thereafter rainfall decreased. So that is only I can tell you. But other in the locally itself, state government, they have got a state disaster management authority. I am sure they are also taking all the appropriate action, advising people and what best can be done. it is being done. That's all I can tell you. So what is impact? Everybody is responsible. It's not only government. Naturally, the people also has to be taken care. Society itself, where they construct. So whether they are constructing, they have to ensure that they are constructing not in a place where floods will get impact to them. So this information has to be collected. So everybody is a collective responsible for this.
And I am going to ask you, Dr. Pai, where do you live, Dr. Pai? Where
So
do you live?
now currently I am in Delhi.
You're
And
in
in Cochin, I am, in Kerala. My home is at Cochin.
In Kochi, fantastic.
Yes.
Now, I want you to be, a true South Indian and not just the scientist that you are. Tell me if there is one thing that you would like to change so far as rains are in Kerala so that you don't have to face this. Maybe you are not facing it. Maybe some friends are facing it. What would that be, Dr. Pai? That one thing that we really need to take very seriously.
Yeah. See, madam, let me tell you very frankly, I am not an engineer who can give you a solution. What floods or other impact has to be done. There are a lot of well knowledgeable engineers are there. I think they can give you solution. I'm sorry, I may not be able to give you exactly what to be done.
I'm not asking you for solutions. I said, as a person who lives in Kochi, what is the one thing that you would want to change so that Kochi does not flood next time?
I think that there is no very easy solution because already a lot of construction and everything development has been taken place. You cannot bring back all that. So step by step, as I said, simple things like construct. Earlier, as I said, there were no wells or no drainage. If it is not working, that has to be properly before the monsoon. That has to be clean, and water flowing into the ocean. Proper provision has to be made, particularly in the Cochin. I think in the Cochin, generally, if a water, rain stops for a few hours, quickly the water flows into the ocean. So
Right.
we have to ensure that much faster these things should happen, much faster. So that's all, at
All
this stage
right.
I can.
Dr. DS Pai, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed.